What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I miss y'all, man. It's been a minute. It's been a little minute. Been a little minute. But hope y'all enjoying your holidays. I'm definitely enjoying mine as far as just this time of year, and it's I was able to really provide for my kids this Christmas. Like the past couple years, my financial situation had been shot. Like it's been low, and I hadn't been able to really do nothing for them on Christmas. So this year, I was able to, and that means a lot. Super grateful for that. And I hope y'all enjoying y'all holidays too. I don't really celebrate Christmas like that, but for them, I partake for them. And when the family having something, they doing something. It's always nice to see. I ain't gonna say it's always nice, but it's it is nice to fellowship, with the family and see everybody, um, that you're not used to seeing. um, so yeah, man, I ain't made a video in a bit, and I just want to touch bases with my fam, with my peeps, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's been a minute. It's been a lot on my mind lately, contemplating a lot, breakthroughs. I hope y'all don't get tired of me talking about the breakthroughs because I continually go through them. Like I've just gotten to a point where I've accepted that. Um, I remember a point in my journey where I was just trying to navigate one breakthrough, like a huge one, and then after getting to the other side, I was just trying to align with my new truth or my new reality. And now I notice that I experience breakthroughs all the time. Like literally, like some people be like, we all going through a storm. You either how they say it, you either coming from a storm, currently in a storm, or on your way to a storm. I don't know if I said that right, but I think it's true. I think it's true. And I look at that like it's two realities, right? Two realities going on, and one of them is on the darker realm, and one of them on the light realm. On the light realm, you could say you're always overcoming. You always have a reason to be joyous. You're always being blessed. On the other side, it's the storm thing. You're always going through a storm. You're always overcoming. There's always some type of obstacle. Um, around the corner. Like they come up. It's a part of life. And the more that we can embrace that, and accept that as a reality, the more at peace we can be with it. I made a post. I made a post on my Facebook the other day where I was saying like I've realized that a cheat code to navigating storms is to anticipate them and to decide who you want to be when a storm is present. You know, a lot of times, myself included, I'll be focused on the other side of the storm. I'll be focused on the other side of the breakthrough. I'll be focused on when things were good and who I was when things were good. But a lot of times, like we get those tests, and then when the storms come, we operate in a totally different way, depleted. And don't get me wrong, storms are very hard sometimes, very heavy to navigate, and the nature of a storm is everything is collapsing. So yeah, there's not a lot of reason to be joyous and nature and storms have a way of challenging you deeply. So it's harder to rely on you know positivity, especially if it's not deep rooted, especially if it's rooted in something artificial, because a storm got a way of busting through our lines of defense, for lack of better terms. But the cheat code for me is establishing the character that I want to have while I'm in a storm. And I strongly encourage this for you, because think about it. When we can answer certain questions for ourselves, like when everything is not working, who am I? Instead of focusing all our energy on making everything work, who am I when everything is not working? I feel like when you maintain a level of humility within yourself, and this is why I think it's so powerful and necessary, then you have access to ask yourself those type of questions. You have access to a whole nother level of strength, a whole nother level of receptivity that people who are operating in pure ego and insecurity, arrogance, they don't have. You know what I'm saying? Even that's a part of the journey. Even that is necessary sometimes, to have such a strong conviction in yourself, and you know, to almost like not even look at any obstacles. But that humility, though, that humility, it has a way of allowing you to have an open mind, uh, have an open posture, to be flexible, to be adaptable. Yeah, and I think, and those things are huge. They're a lot bigger than that. Oftentimes we give them the respect. But yeah, like building that character of who you are in the storm. Like who am I when everything is not working? Who am I when I don't feel my best? Who am I when I feel horrible? Like when I feel terrible? Who am I when it seems like the weight of the world is on me? You know, who do I become? How do I exist in here? Who am I when I'm operating in uncertainty? Who am I when I feel insecure? What about when I'm embarrassed? What about when I lose? You know what I'm saying? And the humility to know that these states of being and these states of existence still can come to you no matter how high you go. You know, I feel like in that essence, you're making room not only for God, but more life. You're making room for stability. You know, the thing about people who operate in arrogance, and I understand, because I feel like arrogance and overconfidence is just trying not to feel or be phased by when the tide inevitably goes low, right? But that humility, you know what I'm saying, when the tide goes here, like, and basically what I'm saying when I say I'm trying to determine who I am in a storm, then I don't want to keep teeter-tottering like this, y'all. Because I mean, just this energy, I do this enough, and then I'm gonna eventually get tired. It's a lot of energy being expended in this. I go up, I'm riding these highs, and even if I'm operating in the arrogance, right, or the overconfidence, I don't want to acknowledge that I don't like these obstacles, I don't like this negative aspect. Then as it starts to pull on me because a storm comes, I'm fighting for my life, and I'm also forsaking this this persona that I built up, because I'm telling you, the storm has a way of cracking your shield, and that's where a lot of us lose that self-respect and that self alignment, because we so dependent on this personality that we have concocted when everything is good. So when everything go bad, that person breaks, and if we have, it's kind of like we get exposed, and it's like if we can learn those lessons, if we can like soften that person in order for us to be a little bit more malleable, you know, in order for us to be a little more teachable, coachable, then I think we position ourselves into a place where storms are not enemies. Storms are not a bad thing. It's not a bad place. It's almost welcome. It's almost like it's it's like weather. You know, it's weather, and I feel like that approach has been changing my orientation when it comes to trials and tribulations. Like I'm starting to that gap in between the two hemispheres are starting to become more and more uh, indistinguishable. Like they starting to merge, they starting to integrate, and that is providing me a depth of peace and a depth of solace, you know, and I see it mostly when a storm comes. It's like I'm not it's like I'm not even focused when it's high. Of course we enjoy the highs. It's easy to enjoy the highs, but once the storm comes, I'm noticing like, yeah, I notice I go down. I notice I'm tired, I'm exhausted, or you know, it's gonna challenge you deeply. But what's my attitude like? I notice my attitude better. I notice that I'm still giving myself some time and giving myself some grace to be like, it's okay. Like it's starting to be less of a pull out of something, more like a respectful, loving embrace and navigation. And I'm giving this message today for whoever it inspired to be that stillness, to be that, you know, that force that no matter what storm comes, no matter if it's high, no matter if it's low, you are you are welcoming to it. You know, you don't have to overcompensate with confidence. You know, who are you when you're weak? Who are you when you're not feeling your best? In those questions lies your strength, not the other way. That's where your strength lies. And who you are in the darkness and who you are when you're feeling weak. We only strong until we not, you know? And a lot of people once they start losing strength, which you will inevitably do at some point, a lot of people go blind. No. You know, we're not going blind when we're going weak. We embrace that. We still see ourselves when we're not at our best. We still see ourselves when we're insecure, when we don't have the answers, when we're the dumbest person in the room, when we feel deep uncertainty, and when we deep up in the unknown, when we feel less capable. We still present. We still ourselves. And that's like I say on the outro, that's the most powerful place, in my opinion, that we can come from. Yeah, so I encourage you, you know, find that place within yourself. It's worth it. It's not that it's gonna be easy to, you know, align with that, but I promise you, you find that place within yourself, your life is gonna change. Your life, it can't help but change, and it'll be a slow change. But when we looking at the time of eternity, no amount of time is too much time. So, with that being said, if you made it to this point in the video and you found something valuable about it, hit that like button. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all that feedback. And the channel been going crazy. I think the last video did 500 some views. Like, y'all, that's what's up. That excites me and that scares me. Like, damn, people appreciate the message, and I'm doing my best to just keep it genuine and continue to come from an authentic place, you know, and to be true. You know, that's the biggest thing. So the people that's been rocking with me from the beginning, You know, we had 144 subscribers, and I know it'll continue to grow up. What's most important is the people that truly, that these messages are for. Like, these messages come from my spirit, just come from my soul, and there's somebody else uh, that is connected to this same hemisphere. Like, we in the same energy. You know, I'm nothing without the spirit. You know, I'm nothing without the soul. I am the soul. I am the spirit. So for the people that aligns to this channel and my voice, whatever the message is I'm obedient to share, it's for you. Like, then you know, I'm thankful for that process. You know, and I'm doing my best to stay focused on the one person. Stay focused on the one person, on the one. Each one teach one. Instead of me trying to focus on followers, which is easy to do, you know what I'm saying? Focus on the follower count, focus on the viewer count. I just wanted to reach the people that it's meant to reach. With that being said, having 144 people subscribe to the channel means a lot, you know, to me. Having even sometimes 10, 30 views, like, that means a lot to me, and I hope that it stays that way for me. And you know, that's the goal. So love y'all, missed y'all. About to get locked back in with my videos. You know, I just, like I say, I try to keep the messages true, and I try to let them come on time, because if I let them come on time, then they're gonna be right on time for you, you know. So that being said, that's the video. Whether today is a rough day or today is a great day, whether you are struggling to make ends meet or you're at the pinnacle of your success, either way, the greatest place that you could come from is right where you are. Not perfect, just real. All right. I wish you peace, love, and abundance every single day, especially on the days that it rains. With that being said, I am signing out. Peace.